It's no longer news that Fiverr, an online freelance platform, is one of the best ways or easy ways you can make money online. And actually, over the years, people have been making so much money rendering services online, both as beginners and as skilled freelancers. Okay, so but the major problem with Fiverr or with you starting out on Fiverr is you getting that first order. Okay, it's always very very hard and in fact that's the most traumatic experience every Fiverr beginner normally gets, including myself. When I started newly on Fiverr, I experienced that because I waited for so long before I could hit my first order. In all honesty, my first Fiverr account didn't make me any money, and if you're in that condition or if you're experiencing such, this is the best video you could watch now, and I'm going to break it down to you on the things you have to do and get your first order as fast as possible. My name still remains Francis Eze, and I'm all about teaching you how to make money online and also bringing you valuable content on several ways you can make money online. And if this is your first time coming to this channel, you are highly welcome. Okay, and if you're a returning viewer, you're also welcome, and let's do our thing as usual. And I would indulge you to like this video, click the subscribe button, and also click the bell notification icon so that whenever I get hot content like this on how to make money online, you would be among the first to be notified. Okay. So, getting that first order on Fiverr is actually very, very tedious and difficult. And that's one of the things that discourage so many newbies or beginners on Fiverr to quit and tell me that this means of making money online doesn't work. It happened to me back then in 2015 when I created my first Fiverr account. I saw a few of my friends doing Fiverr and I decided to do exactly what they are doing, create an account, try to render the same service that they render. And at the end of the day, I did everything they told me. But that first order refused to come. Absolutely, it refused to come. For as much as 2 months, I didn't see any. 3 months, 4 months, a year, 2 years, I didn't land any order. I did everything, optimize my page and all that, do very powerful thumbnail, and nothing happened. Okay, so but nevertheless, don't worry. If you are experiencing that, or you are starting off on Fiverr, just know that you're going to experience this. But being on this video at this point in time is going to make it a whole lot easier for you, and it's going to give you good and better experience on getting that your first Fiverr order. And let me sound this warning now. If you are very very busy at the moment, I would advise you to pause this video, go about your activities, do all the things that you want to do, and then when you have the time, get back to this video and cool down and watch this video, because I wouldn't want you to miss the actual key point that you need. And also, if you are the kind of person that comes to a YouTube channel, wants to watch a video that you wish to get information on, and all you do is to fast forward to the next point, my advice to you is try to fast forward this video to the 7th point, because that's where what you need to do is. But meanwhile, make sure that you've done tip 1 to 6 successfully before you could jump to that number 7. So, having said that, what do you actually need to get your first order on Fiverr? The first thing is to show your gig to a potential buyer. So you have to build your profile and your gig, and rank it and do the proper SEO and do everything that you need to do so that your gig surfaces maybe on the first page or the second page where potential buyers can easily spot them. And after they must have spotted that gig or your gig, what next? They should be able to interact with the gig. That's clicking on the gig, reaching out to you, and probably having to chat you or place an order directly. Okay, and that takes us to the third important thing that you need to do for you to make or for you to get that first order, which is close a sale. Because whenever you upload your gig or whenever you put out your gig on Fiverr, 3 things happen. The gig gets shown to potential buyers. the buyer clicks on your gig, interacts with you, and you being able to close the sale. Okay, because it's not all the buyers that gets to your gig that ends up buying. Most of the times you may not be able to close a sale, not because your gig is bad, but because the interaction you had with the potential buyer wasn't good with him or her, and that discouraged him or her not to buy from you. Okay, so but without wasting much of your time, let's hop into the first tip or trick you need to land that very important first order on Fiverr, because that first order is what is going to give you most likely your first review. Okay, now with accumulation of good reviews, you get to get more orders, and you get to build credibility and your trustworthiness in the Fiverr space. Okay, so the first one is choosing a favorable niche or category. Okay, in doing this, the first thing you have to consider is look for a niche that has low competition. Trust me, you don't want to hop on a niche where there are thousands of persons rendering the same service. Remember, some of them has been there before you 10 years earlier, 5 years earlier, 3 years earlier, and they've accumulated lots and lots of reviews. Remember, you're competing with these guys or with these freelancers whom have been able to gain trust and reputation with most of these customers coming in on Fiverr. Okay, so look for a niche where there are less number of persons offering the service. Okay, and aside that, also look for a niche which you are familiar with. A niche where you can render the service very, very well, because when you render a bad service, you get a bad review. And the moment you start getting bad reviews on Fiverr, trust me, you are going nowhere. Okay, the system is already working against you. Both the algorithm, the potential buyers coming in, seeing bad review, they wouldn't want to buy. Okay, then the next one is maximize your gig description. There's a mistake newbies normally do. Everybody's looking out at the gig title. That's where they want to fix in all the necessary keywords that they need and all that. The truth of the matter is this: the algorithm don't just favor only the gig title, but the gig description also. So make sure you infuse as much keyword as possible in the gig description. Okay, and also do your research. What are the keywords that people normally search for on Fiverr when they want to purchase the service you offer? And the way to do that is get your Fiverr account, switch your account to the buyer's mode, because normally as a freelancer, your account is always on seller's mode. So switch it to a buyer's mode. Go to the search tab. Try to search for the service that you render. Automatically, you're going to see a list of related searches that potential buyers do on that search tab to get to the service that you render. So those are the keywords that you need to infuse in your gig description, so that, because the more keywords you have in your gig description, the more you get to rank once anybody searches for such service which you render. Because the best way or the easiest way a newbie or a beginner on Fiverr gets noticed is from search results. So if you don't have enough keywords in your gig description, then you stand to lose those benefits of being spotted through searches. Okay, then the next one is maximize the opportunity Fiverr gives you. There are so many features on Fiverr when you are creating your gig, and oftentimes, personally, I don't do this, okay, because I didn't back then. There was no so much competition on Fiverr compared to what it is now. Okay, those times there are some features like uploading samples. Aside uploading samples, there are frequently asked questions section. When I used to create my gig back then, I used to ignore these. I upload sample, but I don't normally pay attention to gig video and the frequently asked questions. Okay, so make use of all these features. Make sure you upload samples. Make sure you put in possible questions and answer in the FAQ section, which is the frequently asked questions. So make sure you put in those things that are very, very important. And also, Fiverr gives preferences or search result preferences to those that have more details on their gig. Okay, so the more information that you have there, the more likely you're going to rank. Okay, it helps your SEO also. And also upload good thumbnails. Very, very important. Upload eye-catching thumbnails. And the secret to thumbnails is always make it simple. Remember, when a potential buyer or a customer comes to your page, the first thing they see is, or when they search for a particular service that they wish to buy, the first thing they see is sets or groups of thumbnails flashing onto their face. And once yours is not easy to spot out, or once is clumpy, like you have so many words and all that on it, it doesn't resonate well with the potential buyer. Their eye will always move to the one that is simple or easy to read and all that. So maximize that opportunity, your gig thumbnails. Okay, then the next one is creating a compelling gig videos. I know this may be hard for normally Nigerians, because over here, some of us, we used to use foreign accounts and all that, though at this point in time, it doesn't really work like that. Okay, so in gig videos, all you have to do, you can make if it's a service that you offer and you're okay with it, and you can put out your face there, then do a gig video, describe the offer. But in describing the services that you render, don't just focus on the features of the services. Always focus on how is your service going to help the potential buyer. I don't know if you get that. There's a difference between this phone has 8 gig RAM. Okay, let me make it clear. I want to sell a phone to a potential buyer. Instead of telling the buyer that this phone has 8 gig RAM, or it has let's say, instead of telling the buyer that this phone has this memory capacity and this size of RAM, why not tell the customer, I guarantee you that you can use this phone to play any game that you want and it's not going to hang, because the RAM size is okay and it's going to accommodate anything that you want to do. That sounds better, because on the second instance, I'm telling the customer or the potential buyer the benefits of that RAM to him or her, instead of just saying that the phone has this size of memory or this size of RAM. Okay, so focus on how in your gig videos, focus on how your services help or benefit the potential buyer. And if you can't put out your face there on your gig videos, you can use whiteboard animation. It's easy to come by. There are so many online platforms there where you can create one for free. Okay, so use whiteboard animation to describe your service and how it benefits the potential buyer. Okay, so the next one is price accordingly. Have a very good price structure. As a newbie or as a beginner on Fiverr, trust me, the last thing you want to do is to start pricing your services high. I made that mistake back then in 2015. And when you price the services high, remember, you don't have any review. Pricing your services high, customers may not want to trust you because there's no review to back your services up. So as a newbie, the first thing you should do, make sure that your prices are structured well. Slash your prices to the barest minimum. In fact, all your services should be at $5. Put in that work. Even if your service is worth $100, $200, let everything be at $5 and do a good work, because this work will help you get better review and good reviews. So by the time you must have accumulated some reviews, then you can change your price structure and increase the prices. And with those reviews, potential buyers or returning buyers will be willing to pay, knowing that, oh, you do great services. Others are actually giving you reviews, testifying that you do wonderful services. Okay, so the next one, which is number 6, is promotion. Oftentimes, the Fiverr platform has thousands of persons that are rendering the same services, thousands of persons that are freelancing on the platform. And the easiest way you can get your first gig as a newbie is to promote. Go out there on social media, go out there on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, promote your services. You can do a paid promotion, or you can do a free promotion. And the easiest way to do an effective free promotion is if you order a particular service, make sure you are in a group or in an online community or in an online platform where those that need that particular service converge. Okay, so let's say let me give this instance. As assuming you are a logo designer, you have nothing doing on a platform where people are talking about how to, maybe how to do online classes and all that. You should be on an online community or forum or group where there are upcoming entrepreneurs, people that want to be entrepreneurs, business owners, business savvy persons, and people that want to grow a business. But those are people that need logo oftentimes. And if you're able to get one person and you do a great job, that person turns to a returning customer. Okay, so having applied these 6 tips or tricks, I know you may be wondering, I've done all these 6 tricks or tips. How come I've not gotten my first Fiverr order? Yes, like I said earlier, Fiverr is highly competitive, and to get anything out there on the online space is actually competitive and relatively difficult. Okay, personally, I did the whole 6 tips and tricks I've just mentioned earlier, and I didn't get my first order. That sounds crazy. Yes, but the next trick is going to do the magic for you, and that's the 7th tip or the 7th trick on how you can land your first order on Fiverr as fast as possible. But nevertheless, knowing that on this 7th trick, you still have to apply tip 1 to 6, because doing the 7th trick or the tip without applying the first 6 will reduce your chances of getting your first order as fast as possible. And that is the 7th tip is new category. Okay, that's you spotting out a new category on Fiverr. Fiverr normally add new category to their platform. And how do you spot that? Whenever you go under the category section, check out, there's this pink tab that is written new. If that category is a new one, you see that pink tab on it, new, and that's the way to know a new category. And this 7th tip is going to go against, or it's more like a reverse engineering. Okay, you have to do everything starting from choosing that particular category, because oftentimes you may not know how to render services on that category. But the most important thing is that you spot this category when it's being added on Fiverr platform. Create gigs under this category. Create gigs immediately. And don't just create 1 gig. Create, because as a newbie, Fiverr gives you 7 gig spaces. So you can create as much as 7 gigs at a time as a newbie. So why create 1 when you can increase your chances by 7? Okay, so on that new category, create gig on it. Even if you don't know how to offer that service, learn how to offer it immediately. Very important. You have to learn how to offer that service immediately, because in that new category there will be less competition. You have chances of ranking higher and faster, and you have chances of getting new buyers, because there are no old freelancers or people that render similar service. There are no much persons. So that way you have in the group of those that render their services, you have chances of surfacing and appearing on the first page. Okay, that way you get as much orders as possible. So if you follow this 7th tip, trust me, you're going to get your first order as fast as possible, and it's not going to take you much time. Just make sure that on doing this 7th trick or taking this 7th tip, make sure you still apply tip 1 to 6, because you need to maximize your gig description and describing your gig, maximize the opportunity Fiverr give you there, create compelling gig video, price accordingly also, then promote if you want. But the 7th tip, which is that new category on Fiverr platform, gives you higher chances of landing your first order. That was what I actually did, because in 2017 when I got back on, in late 2017 when I got back on Fiverr, all my friends were doing a certain thing. I had to leave what everything they were doing. Email marketing was the new category back then. What did I do? I hopped into it. I had to buy a course on how to render so many email marketing services, email templates, email signature, writing email series, setting up autoresponders, and many of them. And that was how I was able to make as much as, I made over $7,000 within 6 months on that particular. In fact, it got to a point whereby I was outsourcing services because I couldn't handle the number of orders that I had to deal with every day. Okay, so having learned that, it's now left for you to go and apply those three, especially that number 7, to start getting your first order immediately on Fiverr. And also, having said that, I think if you are a newbie on Fiverr, or let's say an experienced person on Fiverr, and you are still looking for a niche for the newbies, if you are looking for a niche you can actually start without much experience, then you have to check out my next video. And also, if you are an experienced Fiverr who is looking for a way to diversify into other categories and niches to make extra money, then also check out my next video, because in that video I said so much about how you can render services on Fiverr, both as a newbie and as a skilled freelancer on Fiverr. See you next time, and thank you for watching.